Arizona's legal limit for alcohol is .08. The Scottsdale Police Department arrested former Cardinal and current Patriot Michael Floyd on December 12th after the wide receiver fell asleep in the driver's seat of his vehicle while stopped at a traffic signal. The Scottsdale prosecutor told ESPN that Floyd, initially charged with obstructing a roadway, DUI, impaired to the slightest degree, DUI, blood alcohol content above .08, and failure to obey a police officer, has now been charged with 2 more serious offenses, one for blood alcohol content of .15 or more, and one for a blood alcohol content of .20 or more, giving him a total of 6 charges. Floyd's blood alcohol level was measured at .217. Here's the video from that officer's body camera of that evening.
Scottsdale Police, put your car in park. Put your car in park and turn off the car. Unlock the doors. Scottsdale Police, unlock your door. Turn your car off right now. Turn it off. Turn your car off. Turn your car off. Open the door. No, I want you to open the door. Put your hands on the steering wheel. Keep your hands right there. Do not move. Hands there. Do not move. You understand me? No. Stay here. Hey, Bailey, come over here. Stay. Do not move. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Hands on the wheel. Keep them on the wheel. Watch his hands so I can reach in and unlock it. Step out of the car. Step out. I'm not going to ask again. Step out of the car.
Why you gotta be like this?
Because you can't listen. That's the problem. Do you have any idea why I'm talking to you, sir?
You just don't take a life with me.
Okay? No, because you sat through... Okay, you sat through 2 light cycles, and you were asleep behind the wheel. Okay? You passed out behind the wheel of your car. That's why all this is happening.
Here's Floyd's new head coach, Bill Belichick, yesterday, who claimed Floyd the day after Arizona cut him.
Yeah, we were aware of his situation when we claimed him.
Had you seen the video before you claimed him?
We were aware of the situation before we claimed him. He's in an ongoing legal situation that I'm not going to comment on. There are a lot of things outside of football that we all deal with. It's a long, long list, and we provide a lot of resources for everybody on that. So, yeah, absolutely, without a doubt.
Belichick said today that he was not aware of Floyd's blood alcohol level. Keep in mind, Floyd was suspended for a DUI charge while playing at Notre Dame. Will Kane here with us. Good to see you.
Morning.
Good morning. Max, I want to start with you. How bad of a look is this for the New England Patriots?
Really bad, but first I want to say I always feel a little funny watching video like that. I know people have this voyeuristic impulse to watch that kind of stuff, and those, like cop shows are popular because of that. And I know that it's an issue of public interest, and it might be good to embarrass or humiliate people out of that kind of behavior. It actually serves a function. I always feel like it's a violation of privacy, and I have a difficult time watching it. That said, the Patriots look bad here. As a member of the broader NFL community, I mean, the idea here is that you punish bad behavior and you set it as a deterrent for others. And also because it's just really reckless. Look, this guy's over 200 pounds. He blew an almost a .22 almost, .217. Legal limit's .08. That's almost 3 times the legal limit, and he's 200 pounds. I drive with my family on the road. I have 3 little girls. I don't want anyone like that on the road, period. And I am somewhat sympathetic to the idea, hey, your judgment is impaired because you imbibed. And when your judgment's impaired, you make bad decisions. So I get that, but I have no tolerance for that kind of behavior. And what the Patriots did by signing him before the ink was dry on his release was undermine the broader NFL community that should be trying to stigmatize this kind of behavior. And now Belichick's come out and said, hey, we weren't aware of this and that. And the Patriots aren't doing their due diligence when they check up on someone, or they just missed that. It's hard to believe. But that's what happened, and I think it's a bad look for New England.
Well, it's a bad look because it's embarrassing. I mean, Michael Floyd was lit, clearly. I mean, you cannot, it's hard to quantify what a .217 is, as you said, Max. That's a lot of booze. But I have to diverge from you, Max, when you come down on the Patriots. This is why. People are asking the question today, should the Patriots let go of Michael Floyd? Well, not if they have a backbone. If the organization has any backbone, their decision today should be the same decision they made a week ago. Ask yourself a very simple question. What's new? What's new?
Well, according to them, the knowledge of all this stuff.
No, come on. They knew he got a DUI. They knew there was a video. The only thing different is the existence or seeing the video. I mean, are you going to tell me that if it wasn't a 217, if it was a 15, they would have that would make a big difference? I mean, is there some DUIs that are okay and some that are clearly too much? You drank way too much? That can't be the analysis here. The only thing different from a week ago is there's a video floating around that the public can be outraged about. So the point is this: if the Patriots thought it was the right decision a week ago to give this guy a second chance, then it's the right decision today. Now, you can debate second chances, and you guys know this very well. I'm personally of the opinion right now that we are putting way too many categories of offenses on the banishment list. That if you do something, you can no longer be part of a polite society. We've said any kind of sexual assault offense, gone. Any kind of domestic violence offense, gone. And now I guess we're adding DUI as well.
I want to address that really quickly.
I believe in second chances. I believe in rehabilitation. I believe sending people into the woods is not the right way to treat things. Yes, you punish them. But the Patriots made a decision a week ago that this offense was not one that Michael Floyd should no longer be employed for. And if that was the way it was a week ago, public outrage over a video should not sway it today.
Okay, real quick, Stephen A., if you don't mind me responding to that, two things. It just happened. This is not like a DV situation that happened 2 years ago, and now finally he's worked with different groups that tells you that he has internalized.
Right, but what's new, Max?
This is the ink wasn't dry. They signed him right away. This is why I don't think it's an issue of what's new. That's the way you're framing it. This is not a principled decision by the New England Patriots. They saw a player. They thought they could help him. They thought they could get away with it. Then public information came out that made it difficult for them to get away with it without a lot of moral outrage, and so now they're backtracking. To me, it demonstrates this was not a principled decision by the Patriots.
Couple of things. Number one, I have no problem with the decision by the New England Patriots whatsoever. What disgusts me is that I'm actually agreeing with him. But that's a different subject for another day. I have no problem with it whatsoever because they acquired him, but he hasn't been out on the field yet. You know, they'll investigate it further, but he's their guy. So at their discretion, they will have him available for their use, and they're trying to win a Super Bowl championship, and it is what it is. There are a few points, however, that I would like to address. Number one, the police officer, the issue of privacy that you brought up. Damn all that. Those days are over. We live in a very public society.
I don't like it either.
But I don't have to like it.
Yeah.
That's true, but I'm just saying. The point is that, first of all, it was nice to see a police officer exercising what I would dare say restraint, patience, or whatever the case may be. I'm talking about visually. I'm quite sure there's a bevy of police officers. Most police officers do their job hard.
I was going to say, Stephen, let's not pretend like that's the exception. That's right. The rule. The bad instances are the exception.
I've always said that that's the rule. That's what they usually do. It's nice to see that because that police officer did his job and he did it correctly. That's number one. Number two, I found it very, very interesting that this incident took place December 12th. And we see the video now. We've waited a lot longer for other videos. It took a little while longer, with other instances to get out. It's nice to see that they can get it out quickly when they really, really want to. That's number two. Number three, here's the deal. We want to walk around like big business can be paragons of virtue. They're not. They're not interested in doing it. They're not want to be. I don't like the fact that Bill Belichick sat up there and didn't answer the question as to whether or not he saw the video. I believe he has an obligation to ask that question, to answer that question directly. Did you see the video? And made this decision anyway. We do have a right to know that as football fans or whatever. Now, we don't have to, we can question it, but he can do what he wants. But to not even answer the question as to whether or not you specifically saw the video that we just saw when you made the decision, don't act like we don't have a right to know that. We do have a right to know that about Bill Belichick, whether or not he saw the video. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. If you decide to make the decision, you decide to make the decision. Because in a league that's in bed, literally, figuratively, and otherwise, with bed distributors and alcohol, I mean, look, this is what's going on. It is what it is. It's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I understand it.
One thing I just want to add to that point. Earlier I mentioned that he had a DUI when he was at Notre Dame. This is actually his third run-in with the law over alcohol since 2009.
He's got a problem.
Does that change your opinion at all in terms of the Patriots picking you up just based on having the history?
Not for me, because the Patriots knew all that. Okay. I stand with this question I'm asking about what's new.
Yep.
What you saw, by the way, when Belichick avoided the question, honestly, what you saw was fear. It shows that even the most protected coach in the NFL, the one at the highest of the mountain, is afraid of public outrage. Because if he says he saw that video, then the mob of public outrage can come after you.
But you're explaining what he was going through in the moment that he was asked the question. I am saying he had an obligation to answer that question. We do have a right to know. And if you saw the video before you made that decision,
but let me say
you
this.
have that right.
But let me say, well, Max, my point is, we're in agreement.
Right.
He should show the backbone to stand up to the mob if he thinks his decision was right. This is why I like what Coach K originally said about the Grayson Allen situation. He said, I will not make my decision to satisfy others. I will do what I think is right for my player, my team.
Hold on, one more point, Matt. The assumption that you keep making of that point, it's a legitimate point, but it's based on the assumption that he made a principled decision in the first place. What if he simply made a competitive decision?
I'm not getting that from
What if he made a competitive decision and was hoping to get away with the fact that there wouldn't be moral outrage because people wouldn't notice so much, and once they did, now he's backing off on that basis?
Well, you're making the assumption about the getting away with it aspect. I don't know if he was trying to get away with something.
No, but I don't think.
But even if it was a competitive decision, maybe it wasn't a second chance. Maybe it wasn't rehabilitation. Maybe it was simply, we can get a good football player here at a cheaper price. That decision stands today the same way it did the other day. The only difference is the public outrage.
Okay, but I want to get to that. So isn't it good if the Fourth Estate brings enough pressure to bear that someone who refused to look, if it was the case, at the moral implications of something is then embarrassed into looking? Isn't that actually a good use of the mob, as it were?
Well, Max, this is what I would say. I would start with where you started. All the facts are the same. The man got a DUI. He got a bad DUI. It was his third DUI. The Patriots knew all those things. The only thing that moved their decision is embarrassment, which you said you have a problem with the embarrassment factor in the first place. Just, you can't allow
the humiliation of the individual. The fact that an organization is forced through public pressure to examine or to at least succumb to the idea that there should be principles involved and not just the competitive decision, I think can be a constructive force.
At the end of the day, I get where you're coming from. Basically, what you're saying is, look, answer the question as to whether you saw the video or not, and if that's your principal position, you don't give a damn what anybody says, which is why you brought up Coach K last night.
And by the way, you're going to talk about Joe Mixon later in the show. Same thing. Bob Stoops has changed his position based upon the
theme of our show today.
Yes.
Honestly. All right.
Principled yesterday, or was it the day before?
Good stuff, guys. Coming up after the break, Troy Aikman calling Dak Prescott the best young quarterback he has ever seen. The guys will tell you if they agree after the break. And at the end of the show, Stephen A's final take, reacting to George Karl taking shots at Carmelo Anthony. You don't want to miss that. First Take, stay tuned.